Man be man is back.
Oh, okay, boys, do it again. Oh my gosh, the ring got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have delivered. You know what I'm saying? It's true. You know what I'm saying? But oh, look at that, my God.
This is your boy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. Hope that everybody had a happy Memorial Day, because I did not. For the third time in 2 or 3 months, we lost power because of a little tiny thunderstorm. I crap you not. And it was not restored until 3:30 in the morning. So, yeah. But that's not what I want to talk about right here. Instead, what I want to talk about is the death of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, before y'all go, what the heck, hang on, let me explain real quick. So, what I'm referring to is even though it's not official, the unofficial cancellation of Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog. So, before I get straight into it, let me give y'all some disclaimers. First and foremost, I'm talking about a comic book. So this is another one of the videos where I talk about something that not a lot of you are familiar with. So I'm talking about a comic book series right here. Now, also, there are 2 Sonic comics. There's Archie Sonic the Hedgehog and there's Sonic the Comic. Now, I forgot who made that one, but I know it's a company overseas, like in Europe or London, somewhere over there, that makes Sonic the Comic. And third, regarding my history with comics, I'm not really into them like that, even when I was a little kid. But there's in fact, I only own, I think, 2 comic books ever. And I have read some comics in the past. Like, I read a Sonic the Hedgehog, Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comic in the past, but I didn't really get into it like that until, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, maybe like that. And I read some other comics, although they're more manga, like, for example, Bleach, so I can see how it ended, since the anime was cut short prior to how the manga ended. I also read the ending to Heaven's Lost Property. I want to read the Rich comic so I can see how that ended. Case Closed manga, once they finally get it in, oh gosh, both the anime and the manga are still going on to this day. And there's probably some others that I can't think of off the top of my head. But as far as Sonic comics, rather, that I've been reading on a daily basis, or a monthly basis, rather, it's been Sonic the Hedgehog. So I had to go from the very first issue, which is Sonic the Hedgehog issue 0, and then I had to read all the comics associated with it, like the miniseries, Knuckles, the Echidna, and of course Sonic Universe. And, you know, other comics as well, like Mega Man and Sonic Boom. You know, there's a certain story that tagged those comics books along. Well, I think it's all coming to an end. So here's the scenario. Going back to, I believe it was January, actually, they released Sonic the Hedgehog issue 290 and Sonic Universe issue 94. So both of them are close to reaching milestones. So Sonic the Hedgehog is close to reaching 300, issue 300, which is rare for any comic book, apparently. And it'll be the first for a comic book based off of a video game to have that many issues. Meanwhile, Sonic Universe is close to reaching issue number 100. And then ever since then, nothing came out. You know, so and everybody's going, what's going on here? Like, what is this? So after not hearing from Archie or Sega for a while, and basically for the most part still haven't, you know, some fans did some digging, talked to people who used to work for Archie but no longer works for Archie, who still have connections to those that do work for Archie, and we got some pretty interesting stuff. So again, some of the things I'm about to read to you guys have been quoted from people that either works for Archie or that used to work for Archie. But despite everything that was said by these people, we cannot assume that officially the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog series is canceled. So basically, here's the scenario. Archie and Sega were trying to reach a new deal. So apparently their agreement deal ran out and they're trying to reach a new deal together. And basically, Archie is stalling because of the potential PR nightmare right now, while it's all hands on deck during Riverdale. So basically right now Riverdale is like their top priority. They just came either they just came out or they are coming out with a season 2 for Riverdale, meaning, and this is an actual show you can watch on the CW network, meaning that they're going to be busy with the comics. In fact, the writers and the people who worked on the Sonic comics are working on the Riverdale comics. So obviously with the season 2 coming out, you know they're going to be doing some major work on this Riverdale comic and basically just ignore Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, while Sega wants more money to retain the license, Archie, on the other hand, wants to, and I quote, get away from Sonic, end quote, because it's, and I quote again, not really Archie, end quote. So what did that mean? So basically, as we all know, Sonic and all the characters dealing with Sonic, you know, like Tails, Knuckles, Eggman / Robotnik, I believe the Freedom Fighters are included. You know, Shadow, Silver, Amy, Rouge the Bat, and so forth, whatnot. They are all under Sega. So therefore, this is not a creation that Archie came up with. No, this is a creation that Sega came up with, but want Archie to write a comic book for it. And Archie now is like, yeah, we didn't create this, so we don't want to deal with this no more. That's where they're at right now. And, you know, it's rightfully so because of the issues they had with Ken Ponders. Now, that's another video for another day. I ain't going to get into that one, but I'll put it like this. He's a former writer for Archie who created his own custom characters for the Sonic the Hedgehog series. And because of that, a lawsuit came up between him and Archie and between him and Sega because some of his characters were quote unquote used in a Sonic video game. And again, that's all another video for another day if y'all want to, you know, look into that or whatever. So we take that combined with the fact that Sega wants more money for Archie to work on the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. Archie basically is like, yeah, no. So that's where they're at right now. But here's where things get really confusing, though. Already, some of these Sonic the Hedgehog comics has been canceled by Archie. So, Sonic the Hedgehog, let me give you the 5 that are canceled so far. Sonic the Hedgehog issue 291, Sonic the Hedgehog issue 294, Sonic Universe issue 95, Sonic Universe issue 96, and Sonic Universe issue 97. So already you're probably going, but wait a minute. What about issues 292 and 293? Well, those issues, and I can never pronounce this word correctly for the life of me, dog. So I'm going to try and see if I can get this word correct. But basically, those comics that I did not name are, what's the term I'm looking for? Something. It's something. We solidated, something like that. I believe that's what the word is. So basically, they've been requested. We'll say that. They've been requested. So, yeah, there you go with that. Now, here's another thing that's interesting. Now, in the Sonic the Hedgehog comic, they were on this Sega Genesis storyline where they was retelling the old games like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, and Sonic 3 / Sonic and Knuckles. They just did Sonic 2, and Sonic CD. They were about to do Sonic and Knuckles / Sonic 3. That would have been issue 291. Then issue 294 would have been another Sega thing where I don't know what game this came from. I'm not even sure this came from game, but this one involved Mighty and more than likely Ray. So everything, so basically anything dealing with the old school Sega days has been canceled. But yet, if you look at issue 292, which is going back to the main series, they was going to start up a new adventure where the Freedom Fighters were going to go on separate adventures. So I can already tell that Sonic and what's that dude name? Antron was going to go on their own adventure. Tails and and Motor, the big warriors, I forgot his name. Rotor, they gave him 2 names. It's weird. But anywho, they were going to go on their own adventure. I believe that Amy Sally and Cream and Cheese were going to go on their own adventure, and Bunny would be on her own adventure by herself. Well, hooking up with Blaze the cat. And that's how I look at issue 292, which is again not canceled, but we requested rather. But if you look at Sun and Universe issue number 95, 96, 97, if you look at those covers, they look like they are continuing the story from issue 292, but yet those are canceled. So how is it that the start of the new story isn't canceled, but the continuation of that same story is? That makes no sense to me. Now you're probably wondering, what about 293? That looked like a filler story, because something about like a movie, or the characters going to be in the movie or the TV show, something like that. It looked like a filler story to me, so I ain't gonna concern myself with that one. But at the same time, that one is not officially canceled. So I don't like Sonic's chances of having their story being continued by Archie. Now, which brings me to what could happen from here. Well, like I said, I believe Archie's done with Sonic. So Sega could find another publisher to work on the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book, or rely on whoever works on Sonic the comic and have them like be the only publisher to do a Sonic comic. I mean, that's a possibility as well. But here's the thing with that first idea. I don't know about the second idea. The second idea may work. I don't see any flaws with it outside from the story. I don't like the story of Sonic the comic, because when Sonic transforms into Super Sonic, he becomes instantly evil. So it's like he don't want to be Super Sonic because he'll be evil. It's weird. So I'm like, and how he looks on there, it's like he's fat, but yeah, he can still run. It's like he looks like the old school Sega Genesis Sonic, but he's fatter slightly. So not slightly, he's fatter. So it's like, no. But going back to the first idea of finding another publisher to work on this, now you're asking them to possibly deal with the same thing that Archie dealt with, and that's being sued by Ken Ponders or whoever the case may be, or being sued by another writer who want to add their custom characters in it, unless they work on a deal where any custom characters created by the writers or by this new publisher are strictly owned by the new publisher and cannot be used by Sega in any way, shape, or form. So there's ways around it, but will they continue the story from Archie? I doubt it, because then they could be facing a potential lawsuit from Archie saying, hey, they stole our story, or they're trying to continue it, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? There's just too many complications there. So if another publisher picks up Sonic, and I doubt they will, then more than likely they would have to come up with a brand new story. So the story that we are used to reading from Archie is over. I think I had to say it's over, like, because the last major storyline that they just completed was the Shadow World Crisis, aka Sonic Unleashed. So that was the last major story that they just completed, and it was in the middle of I guess, what was it, the 15th? I forgot what year anniversary it was, but it's something dealing with the Sega Genesis, things of that nature. While in Sonic Universe, after the Shadow World Crisis or Sonic Unleashed was completed, they did a 4-part story involving the Chaotix and a princess and pirates, and they just completed that, right? They just completed that issue 94. And so it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. But based on everything that I have read, I think it's over. I think Archie is not going to hook up with Sega no more, so that relationship is done. And obviously Archie will not continue the story of Sonic the Hedgehog, so them creating Sonic is done. And I truly believe that no other publisher will sign on with Sega. If Sega really wants this Sonic the Hedgehog comic to continue or whatever, then more than likely they will have to create a division within Sega themselves and keep the comic going. I don't know if they can use the same story, because again, now they're possibly using something by Archie. But then you gotta remember, even though the story came from Archie, but the story contained characters that are owned by Sega. So who knows how that works? So they could continue the story because of that, because of that fact. But it's hard to say. But right now, Archie Sunday Hedgehog to me is done. I don't think that story is going to continue, and so it's done. It's pretty much done. It's over. So that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, man, as you can see, this game is over. And next week, I will be giving you guys my 10 questions and answers regarding this year's E3. So yeah, I can't wait for that. With that out the way, man, y'all know who this is. This is the new Jay Gatsby, a.k.a. the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all. Now, see y'all next time. Yeah.